toughest part.
You think second time's a charm?
Oops, it's gotta be.
Uh-oh, something happened.
Uh-oh.
Something happened.
Did you lose her?
I guess we're ready to go. Okay, all right. I'll call this Town of Vinalhaven Select Board meeting to order for Tuesday, October 17th, 2023. Present is Tom Anthony, Ladd Olson, Don Young, Leslie Dyer, myself, Deputy Town Clerk Elizabeth Bunker, and Town Manager Marjorie Stratton. We have one addition to the agenda. It is 7D, Public Works. So make a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Okay. Approve the minutes from October 3rd, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Four, approve and sign treasurer's warrants number 16.
So moved.
Second. What? All
Oh,
in
yeah.
favor? Trying to beat each other to it. Number 5, communications.
I don't know.
Okay. 6, speakers from the floor. Seeing none, move on to number 7, committee and departmental reports and appointments. A, Wood and Curran.
This is just their weekly status report. I went out to the transfer station and checked in with Kenny about still the punch list that needs to be done there. There's some electrical work that they're waiting for parts, and it's supposed to be done October 24th. That's Hedstrom that needs to come out. And we still want the gates to be what'd you say, that increased and
Widened.
yeah, widened.
The openings.
I noticed that they hadn't been done yet when I
Yeah.
was up there.
So I will push back a little bit on Brent to see when that's gonna be done. And also the work at the Public Works Department, I haven't heard anything about that. Millie, do you have any updates on that at all?
Nothing on that. He was going to try to push a little bit on Sheridan, but I'm not sure if that's happened.
I'll check in with him on those. Those are the 2 things of note. The design work for the phase 2 of the downtown project is just about ready to go. We're still the only, on the easements for the EDA or phase 1 portion of the downtown project, we're still waiting for what is called a mortgage consent from Fox Island Electric. USDA has a loan, or Fox Island Electric has a loan with USDA, and they have to give their consent for the easement as well. And we're just, I don't know, we've been asking since February, trying real hard, and Amy's working with us and trying to push a little bit, but we're still waiting on that. Everything's ready to go to the people at EDA that review the plans. So it's all ready to go. Though our legal team won't sign off on it until we get that one last mortgage consent. So still playing a waiting game. Anything else on that?
I'm all set. Anybody have any questions?
Weren't they gonna lower the chute on the container at the transfer station too?
No,
They're not?
lower the chute.
Because it was so high up to throw the garbage in.
No, it's not gonna be lowered.
It's
Okay.
actually only 4 inches.
We heard you and now we can't hear you.
Oh, that chute is actually only 4 inches higher than the original one.
But it is noticeably more difficult to put a heavy bag in.
Okay, maybe I asked about it and that's why I thought they were gonna lower it.
Well, it was designed that way for safety reasons. In other words, it's not safe to have something that you throw down and have the danger of falling into. So it's
And I wasn't,
much more safe putting it up and in. And I know that people have complained, but we have consistently said, if you don't want to lift it up into the chute, then just leave it there. And the attendants are very happy to put it in for you.
Yes, I
So-
think it has to be at least 38 to 42 inches high.
Mm,
okay, and I wasn't talking about like putting it down low, I was just maybe lowering it a little bit. Cause it,
I don't think we can at this point.
And
I
that-
mean, those were built to specification by Atlantic Recycling.
okay, that's fine, I'll just have Luther help me when I need it. Which he
Yeah, or just leave it
does.
there and they're happy to throw it in. And
Okey-dokey.
yeah,
okay.
Yep.
Is that it? 7B EMS Explorers Action Plan. Ryan?
So about 6 months or so ago, many of us reached out to a couple search chiefs in the state for trying to put together a new program to have high schoolers, 16 to 18-year-olds get involved with their local EMS departments. The system that the state had previously wasn't really utilized very well, and a lot of departments had the designation, but basically nobody used them, and there was very little participation in it. So I gave some input to that. A couple other service chiefs did. I asked if we could be a trial site for that plan, and us and Vinalhaven both got accepted to be trial sites of that program. So we've been working about the last month or so, building those action plans, talking together about how we want to implement this thing, the different things the students would be able to do with us. And we think we have a pretty good idea about what we're going to be doing and implementing. Really down and dirty version is the kids will be provided online learning modules from Maine EMS and then another sponsoring organization jobs for Maine graduates. Right, Roger, you figured out your JMD, right? Which is just a nonprofit that interacts with a lot of different school systems in Maine. So they're providing some online modules to talk about EMS, first responding, that kind of thing, giving kids a background of education in that. And then they have to complete CPR, basic lifesaver class, which we'll do in-house on the island here. And then the rest of the 40 hours that they should complete will be different classes that myself and some of the crew will teach, spending time at the station, getting familiar with equipment, ambulances, going on rides. There is functionality built in for the student to be able to go on certain kinds of calls in a very limited sense, very little patient contact. Nothing that would be any cause for concern for them to see. Safety wise or anything like that, there's pretty hard restrictions that would be very limited, but there is that ability. Jobs for Maine graduates, the nonprofit helping sponsor the organization also has money to actually award the students along with career exploration badge, I believe is what it's called. So this goes on transcripts. And ideally in the future, we'll be able to build in functionality for these various learning things that kids are going to do to actually translate to school credits. So like A&P or biology or physiology, whatever the case may be. All that's in the works. This first cohort, I guess, if you're going to call it that, is really going to be testing the waters to see what the kids respond well to, what the different towns find to be effective and things of that nature. But we're all set and prepped to go. There's 6 trial sites, us and Vinalhaven being 2 of our own trial sites. Yeah, just looking to get the board's approval to get to go ahead and answer any questions that you guys have about anything.
So we have to approve this tonight, today, right now, or give approval? I didn't quite understand what you were.
well, we're just looking, you know, we didn't want to do the program without coming to the board.
Oh,
and
yeah,
giving you
absolutely.
An idea of what's going on. I really appreciate, what Ryan is trying to do. I mean,
Yeah,
in
it's
the
great.
climate nowadays, and trying to get people to be on, and we don't have a strictly volunteer fire and EMS, but you could almost call it that. We pay them per call. And it's been difficult to staff all of the shifts and get people to step up and be on the fire department roster and the EMS roster. So I really appreciate his energy and trying to find some different avenues to get people involved. And, you know, I mean, if we had 2 or 3 people that got involved and even just one of them stayed on, I think it's worth it for the program.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
And I didn't mean to rush it through. I just didn't understand, but should we, are you asking us to approve this at
Yes.
this meeting? I should have
Sure.
said yes. And I agree with everything Marjorie just said.
Oh, it's a great idea.
I
Yeah.
apologize if I
Fantastic.
sounded,
Fine. You're
Do you
fine.
have any interest in students at all yet, or have you been broached that?
We think maybe we might have 6 that could definitely be
Yeah.
interested with the
Good.
Wow.
incentives that are built into it.
Yeah.
We thought maybe there might be more, but we think 6 is a good number to start with.
Dip your toe in the water, and see how it goes, and then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If we can,
no, it's a great idea, great program. Anything to get the younger generation involved.
Yes,
In whatever aspect of the town is a positive thing.
absolutely.
right, because we ain't getting any younger.
Amen.
well, and two, you know, if a couple of kids go and like what they're doing, then that will, you know, they'll go to their friends. So hopefully that would make other kids
Absolutely.
want to join. So that's great.
Yeah,
Good, good job.
Excited.
So, yeah, do I have to make a motion or do we just have to have a consensus to approve?
Whatever you think, I think wouldn't hurt to just have a motion to approve it would just be the Vinalhaven EMS Explorers
Right.
Action Plan.
Mhm. Okay, so I'd make a motion that we approve the Vinalhaven EMS Explorers Action Plan.
so moved.
Well, that's the motion, so we just need a second.
Second.
Okay. Then second. Or Lad can second. Whoever.
All in favor? Good, great, thank you.
Thank you, Ryan.
Look
Thanks,
forward
Ryan.
look forward to an update when we get going.
Absolutely.
How are we doing with Penobscot Air? Any updates there?
I have not had any communications with them. Yeah, no, probably about a month now.
Because we're getting close to the winter season when they said that they weren't gonna have any service car.
Yeah, the last thing that I had heard was that they really didn't have any idea what the service model was going to look like come winter time. I think the last big hoopla was there was a rumor on Matinegus that they were gonna cease completely. I did talk to Fairwaters about that. That is not true. They're not planning on, or at least last I spoke to Terry, they were not planning on completely ceasing their operations, but she did say that they were gonna need to implement some pretty significant changes. And she didn't have any idea what that looked like at the time. I doubt that's changed, and I doubt there's a really good answer to that question, to be honest with you.
How did the meeting go Sunday? I meant to get there and got tied up on something else with the town, and with the EMS and the medical center up to school.
Oh, that's November.
It's in
15th.
November.
Oh, it is. I thought, okay, I thought I missed it. We're great.
Yeah, November 15th.
Excellent.
Anything else? Awesome.
I need to research CPR and first aid, so when you do
Absolutely.
a course.
We're putting a bunch together for November and December.
Okay.
Reach out to Monica.
I did it for when I was coaching baseball, and it was 2 or 3, maybe 4 years ago now, so I'm sure
Sure, yeah,
it wouldn't hurt to be refreshed.
yeah, just call.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.
Thanks.
7C, Cemetery Committee Appointment, Hal Averill. Make a motion to appoint her to the cemetery committee.
Motion to appoint Halcyon to the cemetery committee.
Second.
All in favor?
She works at the Boston House. You've seen her.
She works
Meals
at
on
Island
Wheels.
Spirits. She did work at Island Spirits.
I think she still does. She does Meals on Wheels a lot.
And have those either.
You'll be meeting her soon.
Yeah. Surprised you're not on the list.
When I sign up.
Oh, dear. I guess I'm right behind you on that. 7D, Public Works, Mill Sue.
Great, after all the happy chatter, now we have to talk about my roads. Ugh. So this past storm, obviously, as everybody knows, was pretty catastrophic on the island. We're still repairing and still moving along. So I thought I could run down through where we're at, what we're doing, what roads were affected really quickly. I do have pictures of it all. If anybody wants to see pictures or of a road that you haven't seen, I can certainly show you as well. But let me run down through first. And obviously Folly Pond was a huge one. Right after we put the new culverts in, water rose above the dam, and then a couple places in the dam blew out, causing quite a rush of water through there. And it took the culverts and all of the gravel right downstream with it. We're at one lane right now. And I'm talking, Jake and I are trying to figure out right now. I think we're gonna go to double barrel 24-inch culverts, so two culverts side by side, just to get us through. And I know that my future plan, what I would like to do is put a concrete box culvert in there. I just feel right now with all the damage that's done and money, and we don't have that in the budget right now, that the best way to fix this is to probably just do the 24 side by side. I could put the existing culverts that are there, the 48-inch ones there, but I don't feel like there's enough material over them without building up a little bit more. So we're at one lane right now. We're checking it daily to make sure it's passable and doing okay. And Jake and I will make a plan. We started talking about it yesterday and over the weekend, and we'll continue on with that. Caldwell's Neck Road had minimal damage. I think we can fix that with probably 5 or 6 loads of gravel and grading the extent of that driveway. Around the Island Road, at the end of the airstrip, we had it undermined, water came through about 4 to 6 feet under the pavement. And we happened to notice it because the electrical conduit was sticking out, which is unearthed. So we got Fox Island Electric involved just to make sure we were okay to cut that open and repair it. But it was pretty extensive as well. The hole was probably washed out 5 feet deep and equally as long and wide. Up the road a little bit from there, what I always call Dead Man's Corner. We lost about 5 feet of covering material over the culvert there. That's been repaired. Poor Farm is repaired. It was impassable in several areas, but that has been repaired. Pools Hill by Bill Elkhorn's had a huge hole at the end of the cross culvert. That has been repaired. Coombs Neck, we lost half the road plus several areas of washouts there. One of the culverts was sticking right out there, but that also has been repaired. Crockett's River, we lost the entire road. It looked similar to the way it looked down at Folly Pond. And that's been repaired as well. Plus, there's several places of washouts there that have been repaired. We do need to go back there and just put 3/4-inch gravel. And then at the very end of the road, we need to fix that hill. It's just, there's nobody down there now, I don't believe. So that kind of went on the back burner to be done hopefully in the next week or so. Tiptoe Mountain was impassable, and we repaired that. There were several places there that a pickup truck could barely get through. Small cars could not. There's some poor guy at the very, very end of that had a small car, and he was stuck there for 3 or 4 days till we could get to him. Pond Street was reported to us. That road had undermined under the pavement about 5 feet, and again was about 5 feet deep. So we're very lucky that that was found as well. That could have been catastrophic for somebody to drive through, but that has been repaired as well. So this, now what we've got left so far is that we've found, there's probably more to find as well. Zeke's Point is in pretty bad shape up towards the end, almost to Clam Cove. So we're gonna focus on that hopefully tomorrow. Caldwell's Neck Road also, like I said, just needs a bunch of gravel laid down and then hopefully graded. And then we need to finish Crockett's River. But to date, so far, according to my calculations, we have put down 233 yards of material at the cost of $12,815 and more to go. It's just, I've never seen anything like it, you know. But we're getting there slowly but surely. Our trucks, Rolly's little red 550 had a broken leaf spring, so that had to go over. And then the Western Star broke down, got that fixed and running again, and today that is not running again. They took the oil out of it because it looked like an oil issue, so they took the oil out of that, and it's supposed to have 23 quarts of oil in it, and it overfilled a 5-gallon bucket and probably about 4 more gallons in a catch basin. So I fear that there's something leaking into the oil of that truck, probably engine coolant. So we took a sample of the oil today, and we're shipping that out tomorrow morning to have that tested to see what's going on with that. And I think that's it. You know, this is obviously putting us behind for getting ready for winter work. It's just, it's tough right now up there.
Wow.
Fairly impactful storm.
Very much so, very much so. I've never seen rain like that.
6.5.
Yeah.
Well, kudos to you and the guys for doing the good
Just to
job
keep
that
it-
you have
Keep it
been
passable
doing.
has been pretty good.
And, excuse me?
Just keeping it passable has been pretty good.
Yeah, it's been a lot of work for you, Millie, so.
It has,
Thank you.
they've been great, you know, we worked a lot of hours. We started at Sunday morning at around 4 a.m. and they've barely stopped. We did take this weekend off because I said enough is enough. You know,
Yeah.
take the weekend off and we'll start up again Monday, which we did, so. Here we are. I'm stressing about getting Folly Pond back together. I hate having one lane there, but it's really all I can do until I get everything else in decent shape too, you know. At least we can get cars through there if we need to.
Do you have any idea what the cost will be to put in a concrete culvert?
I do not. I mean, I was thinking that I might make some phone calls and just see what that would be, but I feel like Jake and I were talking, and Jake recommended a 3x6, so 3 feet high, 6 feet wide box culvert. And he's pretty comfortable about putting it in. My concern is when I do this, I also would like to bring that road up a little bit so that if something does fail with a culvert, water's not quite so quickly to go over the top of the road again. And for that, we're going to need paving and such. We can't just, I don't feel that throwing tar patch down there would be, the right answer when it's finished, but.
What happened to the beaver?
There's still plenty there. There's beavers there. There's beavers up at Crockett's River Road, several. I think they've spotted at least 4 that we've been contending with. Pond Street, We just took a dam out there again, when we fixed the road yesterday. It's just, we're overrun with beavers everywhere, and I guess a lot of summer home private roads have been washed out completely too because of the beaver dams. So,
Wow. Well,
Got
I
an
can tell
idea?
you, that the end of Crockett's River Road, the people won't be back until next season. I think maybe the guys will have to take the floats out, but that's it. So,
okay, that's great. That's good news. I think, we'll get there as soon as we possibly can, but Zeke's Point's really bad, and I just want to touch up Caldwell's Neck too, so we will get there.
All righty.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Anybody
right,
out there
Mel.
that wants to buy us any new truck,
God, it seems like that one's breaking down all the time.
it is, it's been one thing right after another, and we sink money into it and it just fails again. And it's a 2016, so it's not extremely old, but if you look at what it goes through, these trucks should not be, I don't think we should be. I think in the past it's been run them into the ground until there's nothing left and then buy a new one, but it's proven to be more of a hassle. We did call Union, and we have one of their trucks that they only use for plowing now. It's a really nice truck, actually, and they're selling it next year. But I thought I might check with Matt over there and see, what they're thinking for pricing and talking about that. And then the other thought too is the Western Star R4700. The truck part is gone. The body and the plow system and all of that are still in pretty good shape. Do we just buy a chassis and have all of that stuff changed over? Cost, would there be a cost difference from buying, the whole new outfitted truck? So couple ways to look at it and think about it, but definitely that truck is seen better days and it's not getting any better.
Well, budget season's fast approaching,
Yes, it is.
I feel like we just did it.
so
Yeah.
I know, yeah. Okay, thanks, Melly.
Yeah, sorry.
Thanks, Melly.
No,
All the bad news. Thank you.
it is what it is. Number 8, old business. No old business? What? Well,
Well,
Yeah.
just on the, I emailed Ben Plant today because I haven't heard anything back from him, our attorney.
mhm.
I thought you were gonna bring up the bow. That was on there.
Oh, I know.
Don't bring up.
Don't bring up the boat. Nope, haven't heard anything about the boat yet.
The boats.
Goes back in the water and.
That's so,
The end.
Yeah.
well, yeah, anyway. Number 9, new business. A, waste management, solid waste disposal and transportation agreement.
So our agreement with Waste Management was a 5-year agreement that expires at the end of this year. It's a calendar year contract. So this is the proposal from Waste Management. Of course, the price is increasing. I asked for some comparisons to other towns, and it seems like we're on the low side in terms of comparisons. We're going from 69. So the tipping fee is one thing. That's going from 69 to $75 a ton. And the per haul price is currently $886.93, and we're going to $950. The other big change is that instead of Waste Management hauling these trucks to, or hauling the loads to Norwich Walk where they have their landfill, we're going to be using our recycling company. What's their name? Thomas
Recycling?
Yeah. they're gonna actually come and take the trucks to Norwich Walk. So we'll only, I guess the good thing about that is that we'll only have one person to call. Right now, of course, we have to call, if we're taking MSW or demo, we have to call Waste Management and arrange for that truck to come. And if it's a recycling or metal, then we call Thomaston. So in any case, we'll be calling Thomaston Recycling because they'll be doing the trucking. So we'll still pay Waste Management for the disposal, the tipping fee and the disposal fee. But the per haul price will be from Thomaston Recycling. I often say that, especially on the islands, that it's about building relationships. We've been with Waste Management since before I came here in 2002, so it's over 20 years. I talked with Kenny. He was all for just having that one company do the trucking, make it easier, and also they're willing to come on Saturday or Sunday, whereas Waste Management is not. So it would give us increased opportunities for bringing trucks over to pick up our demo and MSW. So,
Yeah, I noticed Thomaston Recycling was on the boat Saturday morning, which I found interesting, so now
Yeah.
it makes sense.
yeah,
So they're contracting with Waste Management to do the trucking side of this, is that how it's,
we'll be paying them directly,
oh,
but so we'll actually have two contracts.
Mhm.
Instead of having just one with Waste Management, we'll have a disposal agreement with Waste Management, and we'll have a transportation agreement with, why am I spacing on their name?
Thomaston
Thomaston
Recycling.
Recycling. So I'm happy to answer more questions, but at some point before December 31st, I would like to get these agreements approved and in place.
Sounds reasonable.
Mhm.
Okay,
I'm not sure we have any other options anyway, do we? Really?
Be good to read it, though, just to make sure we
Yeah.
understand it.
Well, there are other things out there, but I had a terrible experience in Shabig where we had been with Pine Tree Waste is another big one in the state of Maine. And Shabig had been with Pine Tree Waste for years and years, and again, I'm a proponent of sticking with what you know,
Relationships matter,
and building relationships. But there was a group on the island that wanted to get more into recycling. I mean, we did recycling,
Mhm.
but they wanted to contract with somebody else. And I guess, long story short is that, yeah, another company might give you a little bit of a better price to get the contract, but their price is gonna meet the market,
Mhm.
just like the other ones. So, I mean, Sheboygan didn't end up really saving any money, and they ended up with 4 contracts instead of 1.
A lot more to manage, a lot more.
Yeah, and I don't
Yeah,
know,
no,
stick with what you
I
know,
understand.
is my lesson there.
Yeah,
And they've been a good company all around.
I think so.
I'm assuming that we're probably with the new contract that's gonna give us a little more motivation to look at the rates at the transfer station as well.
The fees that we charge. Mhm. Sure, I'm open to that.
budget season approaches.
So if you're ready, make a motion to approve those 2 contracts.
okay.
Do you have copies of them?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, just,
do we need to do it today or do we wait till next week? I'd like to have a chance to at least read
Of
through it and
course.
understand it.
Yeah,
I'm just 99% sure we're gonna do it, but
we'll put it on the next agenda. Is that-
Sounds good.
Thank you.
number 10, report of town manager.
So I just wanted to talk a little bit about, we had a meeting, this goes to the wastewater department. Pam, Ally, and Ethan Warren, Jim Dwyer, Michael Martin and Mike Ames from Maine Water had a meeting to discuss some capital expenditures that are coming up. The wastewater treatment plant and the collection system is almost 20 years old now.
It's tendency impossible.
I know.
Time flies when you're having fun.
And some of the pumps at the treatment plant and in the pump station, the various pump stations, like at the fire station and over on East Boston Road next to the ball field, those pump stations have each have 2 pumps in them, and these pumps are failing and they're quite expensive. So I think that the purpose of the meeting was to kind of give us a heads up. We have a sewer commissioners meeting next Tuesday. We'll discuss that in more detail. But in the 2023 wastewater budget, I put an extra $50,000 in that budget for capital expenditures. And this year I put an extra $25,000 in there over and above operating expenses. Just because, there were already, some conversations about, this equipment's getting old and we're gonna have to replace this and that. So I think we'll be okay, even, with this $30,000 to $35,000 anticipated expenditure. But we certainly wanted to give you all an update. I think in terms of cash flow and our wastewater financials, we're in good shape so that we can, like I said, we have those extra appropriations for capital expenditures, so we should be okay. But we are looking at some, I don't know if you'd say they're unexpected, but we're-
Just aging out.
yeah.
Well, for example, the 2 pumps that are in the silver, in those pump stations, they're designed so that 1 pump works and then it alternates back and forth, and 2 of them is the pumps. Well, the fire hall is completely gone. They're $12,000 a piece. And then also there are grinder pumps, which go in individual homes, where if you have to pump your waste up to get it moving. Those, I remember when I first, not long after I got on the board, it was $3,000, and now they're $6,000. And so Jimmy had to order some of those, and then these 2 $12,000 pumps. Actually, I think we're gonna order 3, right? Ethan was gonna
yes.
take 1 over to see if it could be looked at and if it's worth a repair. If not, I mean, it's expensive to do that too, but I think Jimmy was gonna order 3, but nevertheless,
We were gonna order 2.
2, and then
But we're worried that we're gonna need 3.
might need 3. So. Anyway,
Hey, of all the projects I've seen in this island, though, that waste treatment facility is probably one of the shining examples of how to do it right. You travel around and you see these other waste units and you smell them and stuff, and this one works really well.
I designed it. No.
No, but I'm saying whoever did an excellent job.
Yeah, the one on North, it smells pretty bad.
Nice job, Mark.
We actually won an award for that design,
Well, they should have.
septic tank.
Woodard and Curran.
Oh, wouldn't occur.
I think it was Woodard and Curran.
Thank
that
you so
won.
Well, it's a septic tech
Mhm.
outfit, but now they're kind of
Septic tech is no more.
no more. But it's the similar, what the school has, septic tech designed that.
Very
one too.
impressive.
So, anyway. Yeah, never thought I'd know so much about, but it's interesting, and I have Marjorie to look to for advice on her design if I have to. Oh dear. Okay, anything else, Marjorie, in your report?
No, that's all I had in my little folder here.
Okay. Report of members?
I have nothing.
Nobody has anything to say?
I had a question though, for Margie.
Mm-hmm.
Any feedback on the constableship or from you, from Knox County on?
Well, I
Timing.
hesitate to even say anything. I might jinx it, but there is talk that someone has applied and wants to be on Vinalhaven, but I wouldn't, I'm so
We've heard that
pessimistic now.
before, right?
I've heard that before. We'll
Wait.
see.
We just
Right.
hear this.
But the
Right.
contract, I hesitate to say too much because it involves,
The union.
individuals and, certainly Rick and I are working on it, are in communication with, Kurt Andrick.
In
So
process.
it's all in process.
It's in process.
And they're still working on their union contract, which
Mm.
doesn't really involve us. It doesn't.
But it does in a way,
Yeah.
they're not gonna sign until they get it.
Yeah.
The only,
Okay.
sorry, the only thing I guess I did have is, I got asked a lot where we're at, should ask when Millie was on, but where we're at with the paving projects. The roads, I get asked that
We have a
constantly.
man from, Allstate.
She was sleeping.
I was listening, lad.
We heard a
Go ahead,
song.
Marjorie. Marjorie was on the right key here.
I was, before, Millie and I both had, time off at the same time. Around October 18th, and just before that happened. We were contacted by the guy from Allstates, and he still wants to come out and do his own review. They've had personnel changes. And then we were both out, and then we've had this horrific storm where it's just, 100% focus on repairs. So I can get back to that guy, or what do you think?
Yeah, one of us should definitely get back to him and get that in motion to get him out here. And I mean, this is starting with Round the Island Road. I do think and continue to find when talking to some of the bigger places like Pike, for instance, they really do not want to come out here for just a mile or two at a time. So I'm hoping that with all states, perhaps we can get around the Island Road done and taken care of. And then perhaps when we do the Down Street project and there's pavers already out here planning to pave, maybe we can wrap that into doing some of the rest of the bigger roads.
Do you think they'll bring a plant out when they're doing that downtown project?
It depends, lad, because there's only a couple plants left now. And they're used throughout New England. So it's really, really difficult to get the plants, but I really fail to see any other way that they're going to be able to do it with the Main Street project, because that's going to be a lot of pavement and you're not going to bring it out at 1 or 2 trucks at a time, especially on the ferry boat or the transporter, and try to keep the heat up, because that's why a lot of the roads that we have now, like down by Pond Street and that section of, I mean, it failed because the temperature was not hot enough is what I expect, and it's really difficult to keep these temperatures up. So having a plant's probably the only way to do it and get it done right.
Yeah, like I say, the roads that lasted the best was when they had the plant.
When they
out
had
here,
the plant here. Yep.
And they put more on at that time.
Yeah, well, that too.
Yeah.
So between the two of us, we'll get back on that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Good.
All right, thank you.
Anybody
You're
else
welcome.
have anything? Thanks, Millie. I just want to, and I think on behalf of the board, I just want to make sure that the town crew, Fox on Electric, the EMS, the fire department, everybody
Mhm,
knows how much we appreciate
absolutely.
what they do for us, and especially in emergencies, they really show their true stuff. So it's
Yes.
thanks,
Above and
huge thank you
beyond.
to everybody.
That was a lot of people.
Yes.
I just have one more thing, I'm
Mhm.
sorry.
Oh, that's fine.
Elizabeth reminded me.
Oh.
We had a
should be
field,
quiet.
we had a field trip today.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we've been trying to collect some of the old dump bills and we had the first one that we tried with small claims, they paid before it went to court, so that went well. And this one, we went today and actually went to district court and they found in our favor by default because the person didn't come. But we are slowly trying to address people that build up a
Mhm.
transfer station bill and don't pay. So anyway, Elizabeth and I both went because I wanted her to see how it works. 90% of the time that people don't show when you get a default judgment. But hopefully going through this process and people hearing and seeing that we're serious about collecting this money, that they'll be more apt to pay. So
Good.
hopefully we'll be successful.
Yeah, good
Excellent.
luck. So, is that it? All right, make a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? That's a really quick.
This is one in the books. 40